attorneys here today. I'd like to thank Ted again, and Craig as well, and Paula, and the whole team, including their outside counsel, Perkins Coie, who've been working very hard on this. It's first of all a real pleasure to get to visit your Seattle headquarters. I guess it's good I came when I did, since you'll be moving soon to your new location as you grow rapidly. We're just delighted to have you in the Seattle area doing the work that you do. We're really proud today to announce that we are collaborating with Facebook to protect Washington State consumers, many of whom use Facebook and other social networks on a weekly, daily, or my family sometimes even hourly basis. We're announcing concurrent lawsuits against spammers who use Facebook to defraud Washington consumers and others around the country. These spammers exploit the fact that social media engages us in an exciting new way. The method that they're using is somewhat new, even if spam isn't. We've all received spam over the years. These are the unwelcome messages that fool us into opening them. Inside are offers that are too good to be true, or traps that trick us into handing over personal information. For more than a decade, Washington State, through the Attorney General's office, has been a leader in the fight against these unwelcome messages. In fact, attorneys at our office, led by Senior Counsel Paul Sellis, were taking these misleading illegal operations to court when most people thought spam was just a mysterious canned meat product of unknown origin. Under my predecessor, the Washington State Attorney General's office filed the first state lawsuit in the country against spammers back in 1998. That suit dealt with a spammer who sent unsolicited emails promoting his book, How to Profit from the Internet. We've maintained that leadership over the last several years. We wrote the state's anti-spyware law that was adopted by the state legislature in 2005. We persuaded the legislature to expand our high-tech unit so that Paula had additional resources. And in January 2006, we brought our first anti-spyware lawsuit against a company called Secure Computer, LLC, that was spreading spyware. That was the first suit against spyware utilizing the Federal Can't Spam Act and our state's Consumer Protection Act and the new anti-spyware law. Since that time, we believe we've brought more lawsuits against spyware and malware than any state in the country. So we're happy to continue our leading role in announcing today this suit against a new kind of spam that we call clickjacking, or it's called like-jacking sometimes. Now, how does it work? Well, first of all, social media revolves around trust. The reason we like it is that we count on our friends to recommend news stories, books, television, and movies to watch. Spammers are now exploiting that trust. Today, we filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in Seattle against AdSend Media, LLC, and its owners. Meanwhile, Facebook has filed its own suit today in federal court in the Northern District of California against the same defendant. AdSend is a Delaware company making approximately $20 million a year tricking Facebook users into clicking on deceptive links that spread spam through misleading and deceptive tactics, including one known as clickjacking. Clickjacking involves computer codes embedded in links that you click on that triggers Facebook's like feature, placing booby-trapped messages on a person's Facebook wall. That person's friends who think their friend recommends a certain link click on it and the cycle continues. But those are just some of AdSend's illegal tactics. They use other kinds of spam that promise interesting or provocative material and then mislead people into turning over personal information or buying things in order to unlock that material. The promised content, not surprisingly, is often never delivered. We've asked the court to enjoin the defendants from future violations, to award damages, and to impose civil penalties, costs, and fees. In a moment, Senior Counsel Paul Sellis will explain more about how this class of spam works, but here's the bottom line. As spammers adjust their tactics, we're adjusting ours. We don't like schemes that illegally trick Facebook users into giving up personal information or paying for unwanted subscription services through spam. We applaud Facebook for devoting considerable technical and legal resources to finding and stopping these scams as soon as possible, and often even before they start. We're proud to join forces in order to protect Washington consumers, and I hope that other state AGs will take notice and consider similar actions in their states. one of the most important things we've done in my years as Attorney General is to educate other AGs about internet-based fraud, to literally conduct training seminars for them and for their staff, and in hopes of not just having Washington State AG out there enforcing, but ideally to have 50 state-based sheriffs out patrolling the internet and bringing some order to what still amounts to the Wild West in some places. Fortunately, we have powerful allies like Facebook that are out there protecting their brand and advancing the frontiers of technology, making it possible to do that. So now please welcome Paula Sellis, who's going to show you how